Hey, hello everyone. It is the 16th of December. I'm Chris here with Elliot Cafe. Welcome to today's video. Let's take a look. The markets continue to be very weepy, and even though we've had a little bit of a reaction from the lows today and it seemed like they want to recover, not a lot really has happened, and the strength is just not there just yet. We are looking at my futures platform in here, and it's about 7 o'clock at night here Central Time. Uh, Futures have been open for a couple of hours. On the left here you have the weekly time frame. On the right you have the daily. You're looking at the NASDAQ Composite, and it continues to remain somewhat weak. I mean, you've had three weekly sell-offs in here, followed by a couple of weeks of strength that failed, to another week in here. This 25,840 level, that's important. This is what we're looking for as the prior B wave, and the current rally being some sort of a next wave, with a further decline and a larger correction to unfold as part of, let's call it either a larger wave 4 or a larger wave 2. But it's still holding. It's still holding around the 50-day and the 20-day moving average in here. The RSI is dropping. Even on the weekly, we're now below 60. It's not an excited market in here. So, however that Santa rally will come, if it will, we gotta get back. We gotta get back above these levels. First of all, we gotta have couple of closes below, above this 50-day moving average. Have a little bit more strength, a bit more volume. It's just kind of weak. The S&P. Look, it tried a couple of times to break above that key zone. It closed below it. I mean, today we bounced off that 50-day and the 20, but it's not a type of price action that's convincing. So, is it some kind of a second wave in here that's just sideways? It's correcting in time rather than in price. I mean, it's possible. The character of the market has changed a little bit in here. It's just, it's acting a bit weirder. We're on the daily time frame we are below 60 on the RSI, below 70. It's not an area of strength. The Russell, look, it almost looks like a failed breakout. Look at the weekly time frame. So if this week it doesn't manage to close towards the highs, this index is going to have a problem. By closing 1, 2, 3 days in a row, closing at the lows. So it's just not looking that pretty. And then the Dow Jones, kind of the same thing. It just kind of climbed up, and then one bearish day you had this shooting up, almost like a little shooting star, came back and closed lower. I guess the weekly time frame here, it's fine, but it's so choppy up there that it's hard to trust it. So then we're looking at the equal weight, selling off, equal weight. Even on the, at some point today, equal weight on the NASDAQ was pretty, on the Qs was pretty weak. Let's take a look at even the semiconductors. Are now below their 20, right at the 50-day moving average in here. The markets are struggling. The markets are struggling clearly. Bitcoin. It tried to stage something today. We've talked yesterday about this type of a leading or a possible leading diagonal, and if it's going to have a reaction, it's got to be from somewhere above these levels. Where is the reaction? It's we've had a little bit of a day of a buying, but if you look at the weekly time frames in here, it's it's still a no-go, zone. You can count it in so many ways. but until price proves us that it's worth getting involved, I got nothing. I can't be in here. I can't be on it. It's just weak. So let it show us some strength. I don't know how else you know to put it. You got the 50. It's below the 200. You got a 20-day that's declining in here. It's not a pretty market just yet. I mean, it's trying to stabilize. The fact that we haven't made new lows, I guess it's encouraging, but it doesn't mean just because it stopped going down, it doesn't mean that it's time to buy. And there's really nothing there just yet. And this is the frustrating part about the market, is that you gotta wait, and waiting is part of the game. And I mean, if you've been in crypto for a long time, you've seen plenty of cycles where Bitcoin was just kind of down and just doing nothing for months on end, and people lose interest, and then when they do, that's when it starts to move back to the upside, or it starts to kind of regain strength, and it's just meant to frustrate people, and I'm frustrated a little bit too, but there is nothing I can do in here, right? I just gotta wait it out. Even shorting it in here, it's a bit dangerous. It's a bit late. I mean, you can catch another move lower, but you gotta be, you know, above 95, 94, 500. You gotta be out of there. Again, same for Ethereum, XRP. I mean, look at the downtrend in XRP, just horrendous. Ideally, I mean, you're seeing in on weekly time frames, the 40 level in the RSI is pretty good for bouncing, but we gotta see, I mean, no, there's nothing here. You can't just base your trade on that. I mean, price has got to show, and it hasn't. 10-year yields, dollar, it got rejected from a nicely declining 200-day moving average. I think we've talked about that here. It's pretty deep here on the RSI on the 32, but it's I don't have a good vibe on the dollar, and it doesn't seem to. I mean, imagine if the dollar rallies in here, if the dollar is selling off, and the risk wasn't able to rally, right? If the dollar rallies, what's going to happen to the market, to the stock market? I don't think anything pretty. Now, gold and silver, they're they're holding really well in here, and they're just kind of tightening up, and just it is probably building in here a little bit of a base, maybe a cup and handle. Let's see, it's silver. It's just really resilient, and staying strong. And I've been watching, kind of the futures data, even the commitment of traders. And I know that data is delayed, but there is not even that many shorts in silver. You have more, you know, you have more shorts in what's the market? I think it's not the NASDAQ. It's the NASDAQ. People are pretty long. I don't know. I gotta go check it out. I know I looked at it this morning, but now I have a blank. But they're not in silver. They're not in silver, and the silver it's holding up, very nicely. I mean, we talked about this first sell-off in here when he was selling off, and I said, listen, there is multiple sequences: 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, probably another 4 and another 5. So there's still the kind of the counting sequence. It's ongoing, and it's a powerful trend. It's a powerful trend. Now the RSI, mind you, on the weeklies, it's 85, so that's high. But even if it comes back down to 70, it's still in a bullish territory. It's still in a bullish territory, and all it means is that it's going to correct into like a 20-day or something, and it's just giving. You don't even have major divergences here on the daily. So it's still a pretty market. The oil market has been kind of destroyed, all the way up into the moving averages. Just every time it went to the 50-day, they just sold and sold and sold, and just relentless selling into the trend. And that's why these trends are power. I mean, that's why following trends is a good thing, and it's powerful downside or upside. It's just the nature of the beast. I mean, once a train gets moving, it's hard to stop it, and it's the kind of, if you take anything, it's the easier trade to make. It's the easier trade to make rather than fighting. You're going with it. So now it's choppy on the way down because how are you going to take profits in all these moves unless you're really patient and you can get through all these swings and you don't get scared out of them. But lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs in the oil market. Yeah, then I'm looking at the small caps, which are the ones that have been rallying. Remember, the NASDAQ is lower, the S&P is lower a little bit, but then you have small caps and then you have high beta, which have carried the market to new highs. I don't know if that's the market that's supposed to do that or not, but you don't even have serious signs of reversal from these levels, but it does look like with the RSI dropping that this smells like a fifth wave. But you got to see a bit more selling in here. But so we do have, it's like a broken market a little bit, and we're coming into a period of strength apparently for the end of September and the first week maybe in January, the first last days in December and the first week in January. But let's see what they do with it tomorrow. But for right now, I'm just kind of staying put. I'm still hedge on the short side, trying to protect my longs and just waiting to see for further clues in here. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.